Hello everyone, this is Enayat Meer and I'm going to perform those all lab steps for module number 1, 2410 exercise 1 for you to review. Let me go back to my server, so where we will see some writing on my WordPad or the notepad, because I want to make sure that everybody who has audio or who does not actually using audio still can perform the steps. So you will see small notes within my video where I'm showing you for installation of Windows Server 2012. So this is the exercise what you are going to perform, or what you're supposed to do along with. And if you don't have these PDF steps, I am able to provide you those all PDF steps, so you can go along with me step by step. So very first thing what I have done is so far inserted a DVD into my blank hard drive, and where you have these all options. Once you boot your server with the CD-ROM support, and you will see this WIM file under sources has multiple operating systems. So you have to choose actually one of the GUI operating system at this point. You don't have to upgrade now because it is a blank hard drive, so you have to install into that hard drive, which is a 64 gigabyte in size, and you simply have to click on next and it will start installing. So I don't want you to watch what's going on in here, so I will be doing like little bit pause and go, pause and go. In this way you will see that 8% and 21% and keep going to 100%. But when you do this one, this might gonna take a real time, approximately between 25 and 35 minutes to do these all steps. So you will go through these all steps. It will go install the operating system, and you might gonna see reboot twice your operating system. And this is my first reboot, and you are having this device ready for installation. And by default server will take on server name. I'm not going to change that at this moment, but I want to show you when you have to change the server name. So once you are up and running, you will see your server name. Server name will be a default name. At this point you have to add your administrator account password. So and then you click on finish, and this will actually finalize the settings and will reboot in a GUI mode. So you have options to install GUI operating system, graphical user interface. You have an option to install a standard operating system, enterprise operating system, data center operating system, the way you will have in your DVD. So I am back up after installation, and I am going to use my password, which we always call them a complex password. Your current lab will actually install this operating system, the one you are performing with the Windows 2008 R2 operating system. So with my setup I had a regular Windows 2008 which I am installing right now to show you. So because the D version, this is not a D, this is a C version which I am using right now, but you are using a D version, D as in David. So 2410D, that is the version you are using. So that is why you will install from a different DVD. So here I am back up. You go into your desktop, and under your local server you will see your server name, and you are in a work group at this time. And you can also see that what is your IP address, what is your server name. So currently my server name looks like as a default server name, so I didn't make any change at this moment. And if you want to change, yeah, that is the point, or that is the place where you go and change server name. So if you look at your lab, initially your lab supposed to have this LON-SRV3 server name. So that is why when you started your lab, on the right side of your lab page, you also clicked on LON-SVR3, which was actually blank hard drive. There was nothing in it, so but you have to arrow down and to have a DVD in first, and then you do it. So I just changed the server name LON-SVR3 and rebooted back. I'm logged in back into that server with a new server name. You will see my server manager which supposed to pop up by default. So server manager will tell you what is server name now. So this is my server manager coming up. Under local server you will see the server name, and that is LON-SVR3. It's coming up in a second. It will be visible in a second. Okay, so now I have this server name. The next thing what they removed from your exercise is actually a NIC teaming. So we don't do that. Actually we're not gonna do that one. So for that part I will skip. Actually simply check your time or time zone and just go through those few steps, and we're supposed to be having this time zone in the United States. Language supposed to be English, and I'm making this change based on whatever the current version is. So I mean you're gonna do on today's whatever you do your date is, such as an April 7 2015 or whatever date is, basically is just as an example. You're gonna change that one. So I'm going to keep this date the way the version was actually created, and once you change that one, and then the next step will be a NIC teaming, which actually was removed from your system. So we are not going to do that. So we are going to then perform this joining server operating system. So as you see that, so I'm mentioning here NIC teaming, but I'm not going to do that one as I said before, but we're gonna do the joining a domain, which is LON-DC1 server name, and adatom.com is a domain name which we are going to do as a next step. So I'm going to perform those steps directly. So now as you see that I'm in our group with the server name, so which I supposed to go into my domain name, which under my change button I will go and change from work group to a domain. So I'm gonna add here the domain name because everything is well and connected with the server, and I'm just going to show you that if I can communicate with the server, which is this is a domain right now, LON-DC-DC1. I switched to the domain which has an active directory. The active directory or AD, the name is adatom.com. So I'm switching back to my LON-SVR3 and joining that. adatom.com is a domain, so I'm going to join that domain. And once I get the welcome message, I'm going to reboot my server. So this is my DNS or at the other end, which I don't see any record right now for this SVR3. So once I reboot after joining the domain, I supposed to see a host record of LON-SVR3. If I joined, if I am already having registered with that server, I should see it now, but I am joining now. So because this was a brand new record, so a DNS a host record of LON-SVR3 is missing from DNS, as I showed you at the back end at this moment. But once I join the domain and reboot my client as a member server, I supposed to have that available on the back end if I'm rebooting, and that reboot actually will refresh it. And I'm going to check here that when that a record will pop up. So far not is not there, so that is what I'm waiting for. So you will see at the other end when I'm able to have that member server up and running with no issues. I have to make sure that file and print sharing is up and running. We have to check that to unblock the firewall as well, so we can communicate. So that is one of the other reasons that we cannot communicate between two computers when we have our firewall off, so that blocks us. So still we have some communication issue. Okay, now we see that we are getting response with the -a will tell you actually that what is the server name. So L1-SVR1 is good, so server 1 is good, which is having a 021 IP ending with. So just a verification of communication between those two members. So here I have to basically use my admin name and the password. Once I reboot, after reboot I will see if we are communicating, and we should be able to communicate. Welcome message came up. And now once my member server reboots, I should be able to go and check. So there was a NIC issue, so I troubleshoot that one as offline. So, and also I had to break the NIC teaming as well, and because one of the network card was not good, and due to that reason these lab steps were removed. So that's why I didn't perform those lab steps online. I did offline and tested everything. When everything was up and running and good, and I was able to actually join that server. So I just going to show you here what IP I have right now. With my 010 is my DNS IP address of my domain. Actually L1-DC1 has that IP address. We are communicating, so we are actually good to go now. And once we say OK and OK, and this will reboot this client, and that's mean we are all set now. Once I restart, and I will go back at the other end on my DNS. So DNS refresh once I reboot. After that should be giving me another a host record for L1-SVR3, so that you can see is populated. So that is a good news. So we are all set for this exercise, and we were able to communicate. We were able to add a new operating system for exercise 1, and we were able to actually join to the domain adatom.com, and I will continue for the next exercise as well. So I'll see you back for exercise number 2, and continue with me. Thank you for watching this video. So I'm back in to the second part of the lab, which you also can call supposed to be, I believe, is part B for a core operating system. So this is a non-GUI. This is not a GUI operating system. This is a non-GUI operating system, which is a core operating system. So all you have to do S as in same SCONFIG command. So you could think or take this exercise as a demo for Windows 2012 core operating system. So SCONFIG is the only command which we use mostly, which gives you another 15 sub commands, so which you are seeing right over here. So here what you are going to do here, you pointing out those numbers from 1 to 15, and they simply just tell you that what are the sub commands are. So here you are going to change computer name. So you actually using option number 2 at this screen, and you are going to mention what computer name is, because as I said before, that when you have a new operating system installed, your computer name actually is a default computer name. So once you log in back, you are not gonna go into any GUI mode, but you will be in a command prompt. So that is your core operating system. Core operating system has no GUI. So here now you can see what is your current host name. So you are looking at your host name at this point, and now you can use sconfig command, which will give you multiple 50 new options, as you see that we had used before option number 2 to change computer name. So from the default computer name we changed it to actually core, LON dash core. So now we are going to look for date and time, and that pop-up comes from date and time option, and here you can change your time zone. It depends wherever you are. If you are in the US here, you want to use an Eastern Standard Time, so you can use at this point. You can scroll down and you can find it, choose it, select it, and click on OK. So for example, if you live in a different state, or if you live in a different country, and it all depends on your geographic location. So whichever your location is, you can choose that one. So most likely what I have a habit, I choose Eastern Standard Time, which I just said that one. So all other options you can see here, all sub options. Then you want to change your date, so that's where your date is. So I'm not matching with 2015 April or any current dates, but I'm matching with the previous dates. But so far this version C was that, so you're gonna stick with the version D, and you can actually use today's date, whatever today's date is. As an example, you can choose an April 7. So now I'm just typing here manually, configuring a network, so you can have a control C to bypass any error if you see that one. So network is option number 8, so I'm highlighting just to show you that option number 8 is the one which you can use a network. So currently you see the current IP address what you have on that network card. So if you want to change that, so you can change this network card name right here, you see over there, and index number 10, and this is an APIPA, is an automatic private IP address, and you don't want to see that one, so you want to add a different IP address, so you want to match with your network. So in this way you can actually use provided IP address to you. Now I'm using option number 10, I mean index, this is index 10, so this is from index 10, I'm using that one. So I'm using from index 10 to network address. So here you're gonna choose option number 1 from the list, and they're giving you actually S is a static IP address, so they are giving you separate options, but I'm just marking just for your convenience, so you can see what option you are selecting. So I'm just highlighting this. It's very simple, very self-explanatory, so you don't need much details, but you simply can choose the given options. So here you can add any IP address which belongs to the network. So for example, here I used 172.16.0.111 with subnet mask is 255.255.0.0, and that is the provided subnet mask to you in your exercise. And then you can use a default gateway within the same network, which is supposed to be a first available IP address, which is 01. So now you can see from those options what actually your DNS server is, or what you want to add actually. So here you can use set DNS server option, which is option number 2. So I highlighted option number 2, and you're gonna use a preferred DNS server, and then you have an option to alternate DNS server. So this is 172.16.0.10 is actually from a datum.com domain. The host name where I showed you after a ping was LON-DC1. So now I set up that I don't want to have any alternate DNS, so I had a preferred DNS option here, and you can look at the other settings now here. Now number 4 will take you to main menu. From here you can if you want to exit, so you have a exit option number 15, the last option. that will take you back to the command prompt of your core operating system. So you are now back to the command prompt of your core operating system, where you can see multiple other things which you can perform. So here you can see now, because we have a proper network, so I'm going to try to ping adatom.com domain, which is supposed to give me back the IP address what I set up for my DNS, which is 172.16.0.10. so we have a communication. So now you can add from the command line this GUI server into domain. So I'm logging back from this domain. So I'm back into domain. I switched my server, which is a domain L1-DC1, which is adatom.com. So you can actually find everything DNS or Active Directory under your tools. It is a GUI version, so from your domain. So here you see multiple options which I am showing you, and this is my Active Directory, users and computers. You also can use a command line to get here. So I'm switching back. So you will see on the top, this is a Windows System 32 cmd.exe from the core operating system. So now going back to SCONFIG command. So we have L1-DC1, which is adatom.com domain up and running, and now you are going to choose option number 1 from SCONFIG. So we verified that server is up and running. So now here you have a workgroup or domain option. D is a domain option, D as in David, W is a workgroup option. So we are already by default in a workgroup, so we are actually going to join this domain. So we want to use option number D as in David, and then we're just gonna mention that on the domain which we are going to be our parent domain. So we're gonna actually have that domain, which Active Directory we are going to use. We're going to become member of that domain, and we will actually have this record under that domain DNS. So DNS will also have us as a host record under that domain. So I'm using actually my root domain admin password, so which is actually enterprise admin password as well to join that one. You see here you're gonna have to retype the password, but you're not gonna see visible anything. You just type the password, no dots, no dashes, nothing. So this has to be correct. If you type this password wrong, and you will see an error message, so some kind of error message, so which will not actually let you authenticate to the domain, and you're gonna see nothing back. Do you want to change the computer name? By as you know that we did change already, so if you want to change again, so then you have to say yes and change again. If you already know that, you don't need to change the name, so you say okay, I don't want to change the name. So in this way you're supposed to say yes to reboot your computer. So once you reboot, this will come back as a domain member. So this was the basically a second part you performed. First you installed your GUI operating system. Second, you install your core operating system using the same method, so there's nothing to repeat in that one. Simply you have to put DVD in, reboot if you have to have a blank operating system or blank. So currently I'm going back into L1-core administrator. Make sure that you do not go back to L1-core /administrator, because now you are a domain member. You also can use adatom /administrator. So adatom is your domain name, so you are actually able to go back to the domain as well, and you always can go back to your local computer. So either way, so you can go into the both sides and both way. So here I'm just showing you managing servers option from the core. Yeah, so let me stop on this video here, because this is the part 2 or second exercise. So you're gonna have another exercise coming up, actually the third one, that will actually proceed for the next step of the managing servers part, and then you're gonna have a PowerShell part. So this next part will be managing servers, and then after that you also gonna see managing servers using PowerShell. So those are very simple steps what you're gonna see as well, but I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm gonna stop this video here, and I will see that if I have to come back for the other two parts with the audio, or I might gonna do on a Word document my steps also, or with or without audio. I will come back with the second video as well, and you will get help with that one. And this is Enayat Meer. Thank you for watching this video.